All right, America, I am back in the laboratory. Real Greg Kelly, yours truly. Part two of War in America. I wanted everybody to get, a taste of what's actually taking place in America right here on American soil, like it's taking place in some foreign country where the government allows you to torture people, allow you to keep people against the will, allow you to invade their private property whenever they see fit because they love the Constitution, because they, number one, single handedly, the main reason is they voted for Donald Trump. And it's a tragedy. It's a shame that our country is, harassing, arresting, detaining American citizens because of their political views. Welcome back to the Real Greg Kelly Show. I will be back right after these messages, and I have a special guest. No matter how many times you see him, he's special. Regardless. All right, America, let's get back on the train. Let's ride this train. War in America Part 2. I will be right back after this commercial break. All right. That was a commercial break. And we are back. Let me go ahead and bring my guest in for tonight. Y'all know exactly who he is. Don't need an introduction whatsoever. Welcome to the stage, the one and only TCB, the conservative Bear, baby. Woo!
What's up, Greg Ferd? What's up, everybody? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't do it without y'all. Couldn't do it without y'all.
Yes. Hey, look, Anna Rodriguez, my sister Arizalini, I believe. What's going on? Good evening. Let me get in the camera. I got left and right. All right, I'm back. Thank you guys for coming in tonight and hanging out with us. I think it's important that we get down to understanding what's happening here. And there is no mainstream coverage. People are not talking about this. We should be. Look at those people in the background having a ball. So yeah, like we really need to pay attention to what's happening and how our rights as American citizens are being challenged. And you're like, Bear, I'm witnessing this. I mean, I know you watched part one, but it almost seems so unreal that American citizens can be brought into custody simply because they have a different political view. And there's an administration in power right now that's actually behind the scenes pushing this to even in the military. We're going to look at some people who have military background, who've been servicemen and women, and are being targeted by the United States government for being domestic terrorists because they supported the Constitution and because they mainly supported Donald Trump. What's your thoughts on this?
The thing is, bro, is there's so many things that are going wrong with this. Dude, we're having political prisoners in this bitch. Think about this, dude. All the Proud Boys that fought at January 6th are arrested and are being held in 23 and 1. And for what? Because they feel that the quicker sniffer stole the election. I mean, it's pretty dirty that this is what they're doing. And I don't like what they're doing. And I think if you're going to hold people as political prisoners, dude, you have to have an expiration date.
Well, there should be no political prisoners here in this country anyway, especially, when the confinement is confined to your political views. I mean, we know what that is. That's tyranny, and we've seen it before. We've seen it take place in many, many different places. Just like it's unheard of that it's actually happening here. So let's get into this. I gotta make sure I stay right here. So I'm sorry.
You're good.
Don't lose me. I'm not trying to lose you. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna figure this out. We're gonna get into this. We're going to go ahead and go right into part 2. If you haven't liked and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please like and subscribe. I'm going to give you information that you're never going to hear on mainstream media. Okay, so like and subscribe. Okay, and
this video.
Yes, like this video. We're going to get into this. We're going to start right here. This is the beginning. Part 2, War in America. I promise you, this is going to be one hell of a ride. Let's get it. Here we go. All right, so let me stop that. Bring it back here. Let's go. I got a little quick setting I need to do. So yeah, I've been fooling around with this OBS thing, and boy, some days it doesn't like me.
Day.
Let me stop that again. Bam. All right, so yeah. Give me 1 second.
Hi, everybody. I'm still here.
He is still here. Hey, listen, thanks for coming on the show right after you made your public confession. That means a lot. And I'm sure people were shocked. Why are you still playing? I'm sure people were shocked to see you come out. Why are you doing that? Okay. Oh, Lord. Let me see what I need to do here. Oh, here we go. I can go over here, I think. Yeah, this is bad. Like, I really made a mistake right here. But anyway, people, just give me a second. I'm going to make this happen. You may see this play just in the background here real short, but I got to fix this.
Yeah, dude. So one of the things that was important for me was to able to tell everybody that I am a straight male. Yes. And I think it's important for people to be able to
loud voice.
All right, there we go. She's right now. But thank you for, sharing that, because everybody needed to know. Especially that Backwoods Kelly dude. Hey, he was in his feelings, man. He was really upset with you. Okay, so I hope you called that brother and made it right, because he was feeling some kind of way. All right, let's get into it. Part 2, War in America.
April 28th, 9 o'clock. I heard this loud ruckus. I heard a loud voice bark out, FBI, come out with your hands up. Had 6 or 7 guns pointed right at me.
FBI, come out with your hands up!
Since January 6th, the Biden administration has launched the biggest and most technologically sophisticated manhunt in American history. They've described it as a shock and awe campaign against our own people.
And our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
Shock and awe. Sound familiar? It means that some of the same veterans who kicked in doors to find al-Qaeda terrorists are now having their doors kicked in by the same government that sent them to risk their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. Facial recognition software, online sentiment analysis tools, old-fashioned snitching. All of the Orwellian methods employed by the surveillance state in the war on terror, now used to track down and purge American war veterans, law enforcement officers, and any journalists who asked the wrong question. It took a decade for the federal government to find Osama bin Laden. They can find you a lot faster. They likely already have. According to reporting by The Intercept, the CIA is now funding 38 separate companies to identify and spy on social media posts whose opinions the Biden administration disagrees with. Once you're identified as a, quote, extremist, information about you winds up in a government database called Main Core. At this point, your life can change quickly. On April 28, 2021, federal agents launched a pre-dawn raid on the home of Paul and Marilyn Huper in Homer, Alaska. That's a small coastal village over 200 miles from Anchorage. This is what happened next.
I don't know where my brother went. However, so listen, there is a database that houses information about American citizens who speak out against, I'm going to say, the political norm and the political objectives that are being broadcasted through mainstream media, coming from the president, press house secretary, all of these things, all of these people pushing this narrative. And if you speak against it publicly on a social media platform, at your local church, city council meetings, you could be branded a domestic terrorist. And it's not a game.
No, I agree with you, bro. And they're taking this too far. And the fact that people are willing, that the government's willing to do this to their own people, dude, they should be ashamed of themselves. We're supposed to have our freedoms, and we're not supposed to be afraid to speak our mind against the government. I mean, due to the fact that the Constitution says, dude, that we have the right to overthrow said government if we find out it's too tyrannical. And
Indeed.
they are forgetting that that they are becoming the tyrannical reason why we have the Constitution.
I mean, it's really overwhelming to actually watch these people take that document, that sacred document, and try to dismantle it and make provisions for American citizens' God-given rights to be violated. It's despicable. And the reason, again, tonight, if you haven't liked, please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. The reason that I'm saying it is because the reason I'm putting this video out here is because it's as easy as making a social media post and your whole life could change. It's as easy as making it public information, your political view and where you stand and who you enjoy as a candidate and who you vote for, whether or not you support the decisions of this administration, previous administrations. All you have to do is put it out publicly and your life could change, and you could be a target of the federal government. And I'm talking about serious charges being levied against you.
I mean, look,
charges.
Look what they've already done to anybody from the January 6th people. Anybody that's been there that they have footage of, they themselves are facing prosecution for being in a place because they simply believed a certain way. It's wrong. And I feel like anybody that was there had the right to be there. It was more peaceful than you could ever, that most people want to admit that it is, than the government wants to be admit that it is. So that's what they're doing. They're sitting there trying to sit there and have these people be prosecuted to the fullest extensions of the law when they were doing their God-given right of peacefully assembling.
Peaceful assembly. It did get haywire. However, that's the subject matter for another day. But the truth is, it was a peaceful, constitutionally protected meeting. It was not an insurrection. So listen, at any time, if somebody wants to call in, call the RGKS hotline. The number is 562-542-3185. Join this conversation.
Join the conversation. Meow.
Now, everybody's welcome. All comments are welcome. And all partiers, as you look into the screen of the Conservative Bear, all partiers are welcome. We're going to go to clip 2. We're going to be introduced to a family that firsthand experienced some of the same things that were taking place in Iraq when American Marines were going door to door looking for supposed terrorists. We're watching and witnessing these same home invasions take place on American soil against American citizens. Clip 2, America, War in America.
It's a shame.
We have a very small property called Homer Inn and Spa.
We try to cultivate a space that has peace.
FBI!
That peace was shattered at around 9 o'clock in the morning when armed federal agents stormed their home. The Hupers are not international terrorists. They're not dangerous gang members. They're Trump voters. On January 6, 2021, they were in Washington at a peaceful, constitutionally protected political rally.
It really felt like it was a violation of our space, definitely, to have people barge in uninvited. You know, we gladly would have sat down and had a cup of tea with them and went, okay, what do you need? You don't have to tear my door down. You don't have to terrorize me with guns and handcuffs and all of that.
I turn around, they cuffed me with my hands behind my back and put me in a chair.
Initially, they would not present a search warrant.
And then we asked, what is this about?
What are you doing inside my house with guns and handcuffs?
It never occurred to me they would actually think we had anything to do with anything inside the Capitol, because we never made it inside the Capitol.
But we really just wanted our voices to be heard. We wanted to be a part of something historical. A million patriots all gathered together.
Let's do it. We'll be good Americans and we'll go to a rally.
I know that everyone
everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
The call had been to go stand at the Capitol so they'd know we were watching the decisions they made.
And we managed to get lost on the way to the Capitol. There were police cars and riot control cars and all of that heading up Constitution Avenue.
But what we saw was tons of people hanging out, kind of wondering what's happening because there was no cell coverage. We were mentioning to some people like, hey, it looks like we missed the party. And they're like, oh no, you can go in. Just get in that line there. Follow those people. See, they're heading on in and they're just letting anybody who wants in. And I was like, that doesn't sound right.
And sure enough, you can see kind of a line snaking up. There were no police stopping anybody at all. It was like an open invitation just to walk right into the Capitol. Didn't feel right. We chose not to.
It felt totally like some kind of setup was being made.
Their instincts were right. It was a setup.
I had been hearing that the FBI had been contacting people who had been at DC and that people had been feeling threatened and interrogated by them. But I definitely felt in threat of them hauling me away to somewhere in DC and me never coming out again. They wouldn't let us make a phone call. They refused to let me examine the warrant. And then the main agent who was questioning me, he said, we have footage of you all over the Capitol that day. And even inside Nancy Pelosi's office, they said, well, we're looking for Nancy Pelosi's laptop. We're here for Nancy Pelosi's laptop.
Of course, she didn't have it because she never went inside the Capitol building. They had the wrong person.
And then he showed me a photo, a distant fuzzy photo, profile of a woman in the hallway in the Capitol. And I was just like, is that who you think I am? Can we both see that this is two different people? He said, do you want me to put in my report that you lied to a federal agent? And grabbed the paper and left again and went back to searching. They took my laptop and then he took a little tiny copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
This is how the government sees you.
Domestic violent extremism.
They seized my copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. They seized that as evidence against me. What is that saying?
Terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today.
If you got a copy of those rights, you're considered to be an extreme radical today.
We still may have charges coming down. Our house may be bugged.
Not Al-Qaeda, white supremacists.
I know a friend said there were a couple of FBI agents taping my husband in the coffee shop, recording his phone conversations, and they challenged him and told him to leave. So they just make up evidence or they make up cases. I mean, there's a history of that, especially with people who appear to be Trump supporters or with Trump himself. Trump tweeted once, they don't hate me, they hate you, I'm just in the way. Now, the real agenda of coming after the people is becoming more apparent.
Whoa. It looks like I'm frozen. I have no idea why. Maybe I am. I hope you guys can hear me. And if you can hear me, this is serious. This is really serious. I mean, somebody tell me that federal agents come into your house and questioning you like you're a criminal because you were located, you were in the vicinity of the Capitol building on January 6th. We're talking about people that experienced armed officers coming into their home and detaining them and interrogating them in their home. This is illegal, America. That is illegal. You cannot do that.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's crazy where we're at in this country today, where they could literally just because of the Patriot Act. If they felt like you did something wrong, they could easily just roll up to your house, kick in your door, grab whatever you want because you are considered a domestic terrorist, even though you're not. And that's something that a lot of people were against when it came to the Patriot Act was when they were starting to do all this crap. people were against it because they knew that this was the kind of crap that the United States government was capable of doing. And nobody trusts the government, especially if it comes to surveillance. I mean, literally, if you're in this camera right here is connected to the internet, they could bug it and they could look to see what's on it. That's how crazy this is getting.
Yeah, it's really bad, and I'm having some bad issues, but I'm not gonna let it distract me. I'm gonna keep grinding. These people had a copy of the Constitution, and that was called Exhibit A. Evidence against you because you have the Constitution in your house. I mean, this sounds so like bizarre and so just unreal that it doesn't seem real when I say it. But like, this is a real family, and this really happened to them.
And that's what they want to do, man, is they want to sit there and they want to hold anybody accountable that was there. It's insane to me to imagine that they want to put more emphasis on the American person than they do on Black Lives Matter. You know, they want to go after the Patriots and leave Black Lives Matter out of it, even though Black Lives Matter destroyed businesses, they destroyed their community, they destroyed every part of Washington, D.C., but you have the Patriots rolling through and boom, you're done.
It's unreal.
Am I wrong?
No, I mean, you're right. And it's unreal. It's not, it shouldn't be happening here, but it is.
It's a shame. It's a slap in the face to every soldier that served this country, every Marine that served this country, when you could just roll up into a civilian's home and just grab their shit. Dude, the FBI knows better.
The FBI knows better, and the American people need to know better. We need to know what our rights are. If you don't have a copy of the Constitution, you need to get one. If you don't have a copy, and read it. If you don't have a copy of the Bill of Rights, you should get one and read it.
Because right now they're trying to make those documents toilet paper.
Yeah, no. Let's get into part 3. Actually, I think it is part 3. Yeah. Let's get into this. So here's a family, house intruded on, rights violated, illegally detained in their own home in the United States. This is not good. This is not good. It's not normal. It's not constitutional. And if you are a freedom-loving American, listen, I'm telling you, the life that you thought you could always live in this country, the freedoms you thought you always had, are slowly being burned to the ground by an administration that is clearly in bed with the commies. Okay, so let's get clip 3.
Move. There are millions of Americans, almost all white, almost all Republicans, who need to be deprogrammed.
It is a purge aimed at legacy Americans.
How are we going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump?
Purge of inconvenient citizens who vote the wrong way.
What someone on my team earlier today called de-Bathification.
In the first war on terror following the American invasion of Iraq, the so-called de-Bathification of Iraqi society began.
The hunt is on.
We occupied their capital.
Tonight in Washington, D.C., a green zone perimeter has been established.
We hunted down supporters of the former Iraqi regime.
The National Guard scouring for explosives and extremists.
We purged their military and their law enforcement agencies and all public supporters of the former regime.
The new Secretary of Defense ordered the entire U.S. military to, quote, stand down while investigators cleansed the ranks of political extremists.
We threatened to do the same to anyone we identified as part of the axis of evil.
Unholy alliance of religious extremists, authoritarians, fascists, even libertarians.
I just want to say something. And I hope everybody's listening to this. I just want to say something, right? The balls that these people have to come on national television, right? And tell another group of Americans that, hey, these people over here are terrorists. These people over here need to be deprogrammed.
And you know what's funny, bro? With what you're saying and what they're saying, these people need to be deprogrammed, and we invaded their country. Think about that for a second. We invaded their country and they need to be deprogrammed. Why don't we just keep our freaking our military out of freaking other people's problems?
Yes. But American citizens need to be deprogrammed, and they've signed up for the cult of Trump. I mean, they came on national television and they're telling us that we're terrorists. I mean, they're telling us we don't like you and we don't want you here. They're telling us that though you're American, if you don't agree with the Democratic view, you yourself are a terrorist. I mean, to put this in perspective, to listen to what the people who have authority over this country say about you because of your viewpoints, it's to strike terror in us, because like it's these stories that you're hearing about right now, nobody's talking about it. You know why no one's talking about it? It's because the people that are in charge of it don't want you to know.
Exactly.
They don't want you to know what's happening. They don't want you to know what's really going on in this country and what the agenda really is. All right. So I wanted to break that, that monotony, just so you can know the powers that be do not want you to know the truth. Let me continue this. I'm sorry for the interruption. I normally don't do that, but I just wanted you to know. I wanted to point that out so you know that this is exactly how your government sees you. Let's continue.
Has ever taken place on American soil until now.
Legislators around the country have already begun attempting to weed out extremism within the ranks of law enforcement.
Cease fire, you're cold. No misses. That's why you need to get a girlfriend and get married. Then you'll have a missus.
So, I don't know what happened to my back. I don't know what happened. I don't even care. It just disappeared. Can't tell you why. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
It's too bright.
But with it,
right?
So Bear, tell me what that means as a former soldier. You being ordered to invade citizens of America's homes and treat them like they're on the terrorist watch list.
I feel like that's disrespectful to for us to be doing this to our own citizens. When I was in DC on the 6th, and I saw that they were they were gassing our own people when they were gassing our own people, dude, it was a shame. It's like, dude, why you're doing this to your own fucking people? You're doing this to your own citizens who are peacefully assembling. I don't have a problem when Black Lives Matter was protesting. My problem was when they were actually destroying businesses in the communities. Then that's a situation. Before they were gassing the Patriots in DC before the glass was being broken, before the windows were being broken. I think a lot of the reason why the glass was broken was simply because they did start gassing us. They pissed off a lot of the people that were there. It's a shame that you're seeing this, and our military shouldn't be used against our own citizens. It should be used against, the Constitution says you promised to foreign and domestic, dude, but there was no terrorists at all on January 6th.
I mean, there actually were some terrorists. It's just not who they claimed the terrorists were. Yeah.
But you know what I meant.
There were some real domestic terrorists present. Ranger Jay was like, we need to stop being the world's police, no doubt.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be
we stir up the hornet's nest. I mean, the Middle East is no joke, my fellow Americans. For those of you who don't know, again, this is the Real Greg Kelly Show. I got the Conservative Bear, the great Conservative Bear. Always a pleasure to have this brother's perspective on the show. One of the smartest people I know. So, I mean, as we're talking about it, it's like I'm talking war veterans, combat veterans, people that have been in the trenches for this country are being targeted by the federal government, the same people that enlisted them into the military to serve under the rule of the Constitution. And now these same war veterans, I want you to hear me, America, the same people that shed their blood for the country are now the targets of the country. Most of them died. A lot of them died to save and, make possible the freedoms that we have and the liberties that we have today as Americans.
And we're the ones that are being considered, all the soldiers, because there was a lot of veterans I noticed that were in the crowd at January 6th that didn't go in. I mean, Ashley Babbitt was one of the veterans that was killed. The only person that actually died from a bullet in DC was Ashley Babbitt. And for them to be targeting their own people, dude, it's so shameful, bro. The Capitol Police should have known better.
I mean, I absolutely agree. And I think they did know better. I think they were just simply under, somebody else's, thumb.
And here's the thing, bro.
Somebody else's thumb, yeah.
And here's the thing, dude. President Trump called on the National Guard to come in, and Nancy Pelosi turned it away.
Right. Exactly.
And
so
forget about
Lori Lightfoot. Remember, Lori Lightfoot did the same thing.
Yeah.
It was considered racist, people. My fellow citizens in Chicago, I want you to know that your Lady Lightfoot said that it would be an act of terror to bring the National Guard into your city to stop the rioting and the looting. That's an act of terror. Oh, that's an act of white supremacy. Come on, man. Hey, this stuff is so, I think it is to the left is unbearable.
I think the problem is that they know that President Trump ended every war, the 20-year war in Afghanistan, so they needed to pick another war so they could keep their budget, keep their arms dealers paid, so they needed to go after their own American people because President Trump was ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
I mean, Trump was what Trump was ending was Trump was bringing it into, big money and war. I mean, it's called, the terror, industrial complex, the military industrial complex. I say terror because that's what it is, because we always seem to find ourselves stuck in somebody else's business and putting our people's lives on the line for things that don't have Americans' prosperity and future as its best interest. So, yeah.
And here's the thing, bro. They're spending thousands and thousands, probably millions of dollars on this January 6th, complaining goat. I forgot what you call it. The hearings, the commission, the January 6th commission. They're spending thousands, probably millions of dollars, hiring investigators, wasting taxpayer money for something that, if this would have been another organization, if this would have been a liberal organization or a liberal group of people, dude, they would not have wasted their damn time. You do this kind of bull crap when it comes to the assassination of a president. You do this when it's an assassination of somebody like that, dude. You don't waste taxpayer dollars on a protest that was going on because you are trying to take away from what the protest was about. Everybody knows what that protest was about. Everybody knows that the American people are sick and tired of being cast out of our own elections. And so the American patriot was there to fight over these goddamn elections that are being tampered with. And we're tired of it. And if they try this bullshit again, dude, I think they learned their lesson. They try this shit again, they know the American people will be on the Capitol door.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% with you. And, I heard a lot of people say, oh, they were set up. Yeah, we were set up. Things got ugly. But no, still a clear message was sent that, listen, America we want to remain America. And, we're willing to come into the streets and talk about it. Even though some people tried to hijack it. You need to get this. We came to let our voices be heard because we know what took place. Look, let's get into the next segment. Again, the RGKS hotline is open. The number's at the bottom of the screen. If you have anything you want to say, anything that you want to share.
Before you do that, before you play the next clip,
mm-hmm.
I love what Demon just said. Demon said President Trump was ending war profiteering.
Let me see if I can find. Oh, I came right past it. Let's see.
Dude, that is some truth. President Trump was tired of wasting taxpayer dollars on an endless war where they had no exit strategy. And you know what? And because I hold my conservative people, my conservative elected officials accountable too.
Yeah.
President Bush got us into that war because of his daddy. We should have never been in the war in Iraq.
Absolutely.
We should have never. Well, once we killed Osama bin Laden, that war in Afghanistan should have been over.
But see, it really wasn't. You know, I was on the ground in Afghanistan. It really wasn't a war in Afghanistan. It was about the policing of uranium being mined in Afghanistan. There's a resource in that nation that America finds great interest in, and it's the ability to enrich uranium. Because once you bring it into weapons grade, you have nuclear material, and that's big business. That's big business. That's huge business for anybody that can get their hands on it. For anybody that can get their hands on it.
They're trying to.
Listen. I'm talking about from what Bush did, from both of those Bushes, going over to the Middle East, so-called fighting the war. Countless American soldiers' lives lost for nothing that had anything to do with American values.
That's what I said, dude. I will sit here and talk shit about George W. Bush all day long and George Sr. because they were not good presidents. I hold my conservative politicians accountable. The problem is you got these liberals who won't hold their politicians accountable. Bush Jr. was just as bad as his daddy, and they should never. Neither one of them should have ever been elected because we knew that Bush Sr. was crooked during the Kennedy years.
I mean, brother,
the CIA.
Of course, he in the bed with oil drillers. Of course, he in the bed with the Iraqis. Of course, he wants to take the resources of another nation by force because he's the most powerful man in the world. Of course. You know, and these are the things that, you know, a lot of Americans just missed it. They missed it. I missed it. I didn't even think it was possible for a cat to be that rude or that ruthless. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was like, you know, I was naive to a few things. But like the Bushes, brother, they are some treacherous people. Not going to mention the Clintons right now, but they're treacherous too. But yeah, the Bush administrations, both of them, brutal administrations when it came to invading other nations to take their resources and establish what they call a democracy.
And we all know
that is why you fail. That is why you fail.
You know, if I was able to talk to George Sr., I would do this.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. I you know, I don't know. I would, you know what I would do? I would jackass. Damn jackass. Okay. All right. So listen, call in to the show if you have anything you want to have, you know, anything you want to say on this topic right here, and any other thing you want to talk about. That's cool.
Yeah, but don't you think that the J6 commission is a waste of time and money?
I mean, it's definitely a waste of time and a waste of money because, like, they know what they did. They know what happened. So it's not like there's a real investigation.
Yeah, I can tell you why. I'll tell you why I think they're trying to run this commission.
Why?
They're trying to run this commission because they know my boy, your boy, the actual president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, is rerunning in 2024.
Oops.
And they want to get in front of the bullet. And what they're going to do is they're going to use this J6 commission to slander that man's name, even though Twitter shut him down after he told them that to go for everybody that was there to go home. They're going to slander this man's name during the 2024 election. And that's what this J6 commission is about. This J6 commission is not about J6. This is about 2024. Call me a liar.
You lie. It smells so good. No, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's what it is. If you have, you know, the foresight, if you know these people, If you're just one of those people that follow everything you hear, sheep, no, there's no way you would see it. But again, it is live. It is real. It is ugly. Again, the Real Greg Kelly Show. We're going to go on to our next clip, and it gets worse. Okay? Let's do it.
A special agent for the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, is now facing criminal charges for his role on January 6th.
DEA agent Mark Ibrahim was forced from his job and later indicted simply because he was near the Capitol protests on January 6th.
It's crazy how quick they turn on the cops. It's not right. Everyone's just trying to do their job, man. I truly believe that my calling is to be a protector of people who aren't trained or fit or able to protect themselves. I joined the DEA because I really believe that the Drug Enforcement Administration was the premier agency fighting the cartels. The cartels are the largest human traffickers in the world, and I wanted to fight that.
Mark's a dedicated, motivated guy.
Tim Clementi is an expert on counterterrorism.
He loves this country. His parents were immigrants, so he's a first generation. Mark wanted to honor the country that accepted his parents, and he did that by first serving in the military and then when he got into federal law enforcement. And I know Mark was down near the Capitol, and merely for having been there on that day and near the Capitol, Mark lost his job, lost his security clearance, and probably ended his years of service to the United States government and to the people in the United States because of that.
Ibrahim says he went to the Capitol that day because he was invited by an FBI informant, a man he had known in Iraq. We have confirmed this is true. We've reached out to that man, the man that Ibrahim went to the protest with. He denies he encouraged anyone to break the law, but that man did confirm that he has been an FBI informant. He confirmed the FBI knew he was at the Capitol that day, and he confirmed he invited Mark Ibrahim to the protest. Ibrahim says that the two of them stood outside the building. The FBI informant turned to him and strongly encouraged him to enter the Capitol building. Ibrahim knew that was illegal, so he refused to do it. Mark Ibrahim now faces 15 years in federal prison.
They labeled me a domestic terrorist. I just want to see peace and unity because I've seen it in foreign countries between Sunni and Shia and open violence in the streets. It's a sad and scary thing. I'm afraid that if this division and dehumanizing continues, that's where America's headed. And I pray that never happens. I think how close America came to not existing at Valley Forge. George Washington got on his knees before God and asked him to give him wisdom and discernment. And I think America is in a very fragile state right now. And I think that we need to do what George Washington did, is get
on our knees and pray. Hey, I see your chair. He's fixing his camera. I hate you, and you know it. And you know why. Okay? You know.
I found a better spot for that camera.
Okay. I mean, so look, this is troubling. If it's not troubling to you, it should be troubling to you. A decorated war veteran. Go ahead, brother.
That's what they're going after. They're going after the veterans. They're going after anybody that don't agree with them. Anybody that has a say over what they want to do. That's what they're going after. They don't want to lose 2024. And anybody that could speak out on exactly what happened on J6, they're going to go after. They're afraid of Trump. This shows that they are terrified of President Trump because they know that their days are numbered. And if they can't sit there and prove that President Trump had anything to do with this, because that's what they're trying to do, this whole J6 commission is about trying to prove that Trump was at the center of this. And the president did nothing wrong. The president simply told people to go to the Capitol and he didn't even say go to the Capitol. He goes, what President Trump actually said is, I know you guys are going to the Capitol. And you guys are going to march up to those doorsteps. That's what he said. And as somebody that was at the rally and listened to what President Trump said, he said nothing wrong. He didn't say go and destroy the Capitol like they're trying to sit there and say. He didn't say to go out there and cause destruction and chaos like they're trying to say. No, that man did nothing wrong. That man simply said, I know you guys are going to the Capitol. He already knew that the people were pissed off. He already knew that everybody was mad about what happened in that election. And can you blame us? And it's time for Americans to actually start taking responsibility for what they do.
I mean, that's well said, brother. That's well said. It's well said and it's well taken. I just want to point out something. Again, Mark Abraham was not in the Capitol building, but he's facing 15 years. I told you this is serious. And this is just one of the many stories. This is just one of them. He didn't even go in the Capitol. Lost his job and is facing 15 years in federal prison because of his political views, because he wanted to march for freedom and transparent elections. That's all it takes, America. That's all it takes to be a terrorist, a white supremacist, and a terrorist. Domestically, that's all it takes.
Bro, honestly, man, I'm at the point where being a racist means nothing when you could literally go up to and call Mr. Elder a racist, a white supremacist.
The farthest thing from the truth.
That is I'm out. You can call me a racist, you can call me a white supremacist all you want, even though I'm brown. I mean, you watched that video with Trey, bro. They said that I was white.
Right.
Latinos are white. So yeah, I'm at the point, bro, where I don't give a shit. I'll be white. I'll be a white supremacist. I'll be whatever the fuck you need me to be to make yourself feel better. I know who I am inside. I know that I'm an American citizen first. I'm an American number one. And I know why the people were in DC on January 6th was simply because they were pissed off. And it's our constitutional right to do what they did. And actually, Thomas Jefferson said it was something that needs to be done. In the Declaration of Independence, it says, and I quote, when a government becomes tyrannical, it is up to the citizens of that country to overthrow said government. Now, I understand that Thomas Jefferson, who loved eating chocolate, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I know. Look, for the people that don't know, we know. We know.
Thomas Jefferson said it himself. Now, those are the words taken from the Declaration of Independence. And it didn't mean not just England. That meant today, tomorrow, 500 years ago, 1776. It meant all that time.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on my rant.
I mean, I respect the rant. Love the rant. If you want to call into the show, the number is on the screen. You will have an opportunity for your voice to be heard. We're going to move on to the next clip. You got something?
No, I'm pointing at the number.
Okay. We're going to move on to the next clip. Again, America, this is serious. This is serious. We need to pay attention. Next clip. Here we go.
In Iraq, during the first war on terror, the U.S. government tore down all vestiges of the previous regime and then reordered the society from the top to the bottom. First, our authorities targeted the people who had guns, law enforcement, and the military. And then they turned their attention to the minds of the entire population. At the time, they called these weapons of mass persuasion. Psychological warfare. It looks familiar now.
It's very concerning that military service members and law enforcement officers with badges and guns are a target for recruitment by these extremist groups.
Before I was a special agent, I was in information warfare.
The military has to do more to address extremism in its ranks.
Extremism in the military. And I think we're going to have to reset our entire intelligence approach.
Law enforcement agencies need a rebalancing, similar to what occurred after 9/11, when the counter-terror focus became Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
If you ask anybody in the asymmetrical warfare realm if we're at war they will tell you without a doubt, yes.
The first insurrection of what I suspect will be many insurrections. We are dealing with an insurgency in the United States.
Influence and psychological warfare are the most powerful forces on the planet. I have seen this happening in the mainstream media being used on American citizens, and I can reverse engineer exactly what they're doing. And it's very dangerous and alarming to me as a professional in this trade. My name is Emily Grace Rainey. I was a captain with the Psychological Operations Group at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I am essentially a propagandist for a living.
This new terrorism advisory is not based on any actual threats or plots, but it says there's a rise in anti-government rhetoric.
A very broad range of political views.
A broad range of ideologically motivated actors.
The term extremism is being kept nebulous for a reason.
Some of it is opposition to COVID public health rules like mask and vaccine measures. Some calls for violent action are based on claims of election fraud or a belief that Donald Trump can be reinstated.
It's so that there is gray area and they can use the term as they like against the people that they like to use it against. Me, for example.
Fort Bragg is investigating a psychological operations officer who led a group of people from North Carolina to the rally in D.C. that led up to those deadly riots.
I went and I saw my commander-in-chief.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
At my nation's capital, took 100 of my friends, and they ostensibly ruined my career had I wanted to stay. They revoked my clearance. They denied me a commission in the reserves so that I could finish out to retirement. And then they put a gag order on me that lasted from January until now.
The job of the Department of Defense is to keep America safe from our enemies. But we can't do that if some of those enemies lie within our own ranks.
So that I could not tell you today what the world needs to hear.
So if you see someone putting something that's extremist out there, that's a fellow Marine, it's now your duty to report it.
It cannot be overstated how dangerous targeting your political opponents is and purging them out of the one place where you are legally allowed to have a gun and use it, government-ordered use of weapons. The danger of that cannot be overstated.
And I agree that the danger of that cannot be overstated. I mean, like, wow. Wow.
It's, dude, when you do, here's the funny thing, dude, and stop me if I'm wrong, bro. I served from 2002 to 2008. Now, and then when I served, bro, conservatism was all the rage, bro. We knew that we were getting raises from W, even though we knew he was a crock of shit. But conservatism was what it's all about. Defense spending, taking care of the soldiers, putting soldiers first, being respected as a soldier. That was the biggest thing about being in the service. And actually, I was a Democrat until I joined the military ranks. And I realized, dude, that we need conservatism. It's, able to balance the budget, control spending, being conservative and all. Now it's like, it's weird. Like, I got out in 2008, and now since 2008, or actually around the Obama years, you're starting to see where the military has gotten woke. And dude, I never thought in my lifetime would I ever see a woke military.
Woke trans soldiers. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Traded. The NBD is in the house. What up, Trade? We love you, brother.
Dude, that brother always has. I love that dude. That dude right there. He fed me when I was hungry. That's all I need to say.
Hey, indeed. I was eating chicken wings and pizza. Chicken wings, we know what happened. We won't go there. But hey, we wanted to show Trey some love, man. We love you, brother. Hey, we miss you, man. I hope we get to hook up soon.
Demon was in the United States Army 07 through 2012. Respect.
Hey, thank you for your service, Demon. We love you, man. Round of applause, brother. Hey, thank you.
You know what's sad, bro? If Demon was in the military right now and he spoke out, he loved Trump, guess what he would hear?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen. Hey, look, I don't have one caller on the RGKS hotline. Listen, pick up the phone and call us. We want to hear what you have to say. Not gonna be mad if you don't call, but the door is open to call. Freedom loving Americans, Real Greg Kelly Show. Conservative Bear is in the building. Everybody. Don't do that. Okay. Thank you.
It rang.
Hey, the Conservative Bear called into the RGKS show on the RGKS hotline, number 562-542-3185. He called in. He hung up, though. All right, listen, we're going to get to the next clip. And, hey, listen, I like this makes my heart heavy, man, because I know a ton of vets, and I appreciate my brothers and sisters in arms. Like, I mean, to be a target of the government that assigns you and enlisted you to, protect the principles and the Constitution, the constitutional laws of this country, and then have them targeted by the government that enlisted them, it's really heartbreaking.
You know what? Oh, dude, you know what just came to my mind? You know why they're going after the woke to join the military?
I definitely want to know what you got to say. I don't.
Okay. Most people that joined the military, up until I think probably 12, were conservative-minded people, gun-toting Americans, straight from the redneck, Red Hills, Southern boys, corn-fed motherfuckers, all those guys, right?
Yep.
Conservatives from the conservative areas is where they would draw a lot of the military, right?
Yeah.
Flag-loving guys. Well, now you're getting these woke people, and when we get out, we're conservative and we love, America, and we're willing to do anything for it. Well, now you get these woke motherfuckers in there. Who are they going to side with? They're going to side with the left. You get woke people that are not enlisting for the right reasons, enlisting for not because they love their country, but for free college, and woke to the mind. Now you're giving them. Now you're training them to fight. Now you're training them with guns. Now you're training them to be prepared and know the readiness and prepared to go to war. So they've already trained, and now us old dogs are getting up in age. Do you see where I'm going with this?
I do, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's the same thing that they're pulling off in the schools, education system. Same thing. They want to weed out all of the teachers from the old regime, as they would call it. They would call it the old regime, but it's really just righteous standards. I mean, it's like just being right. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It shouldn't be anything wrong with being right and having the right values. Hey, America, it's okay to have right and wrong distinguished from one another. It's okay because there's actually a distinction between the two. So you just shouldn't go along with everything just for the sake of what we call, being at peace. There is a difference between right and wrong. And I think we need to return, to those roots. I have no idea what clip we're playing next. I lost track.
Call 562-542-3185 and you'll be live with RGKS.
And you will be live. Hey, Demon, I hope you call into the show. Trey, would love to hear from you. And anybody else that's in the building. I know I'm getting shadow banned, not because YouTube doesn't like me. There's people that simply don't like me. But guess what? It's okay. Call into the show, man. We're going to move on to the next clip. I think it's clip 5. I believe if I play the wrong one, I'll fix it. Okay. I will find the right one. Let's get into this. Wrong one.
Everyone here, all you freedom fighters, this is
right
for
one.
you.
We want to warn you that what you're about to see may be distressing. You're looking at images the Pentagon and the Department of Homeland Security consider dangerous extremism. A mother playing with her young son at a park in violation of government COVID restrictions.
Okay. Whoa. Okay, I want to bring you in on this. I got the clip paused over there. This is the Real Greg Kelly Show. So this is Homeland Security, top-notch level 1 threat in the world, a park, yellow taped because of COVID, and a woman saying, screw that. I'm going to go to the park with my son. I'm going to invite my neighbors, and we're going to come out of these, COVID lockdown restrictions where nobody can socialize and be human.
Bro, dude, who would have ever thought that going to a park you would make you a terrorist. A terrorist.
A tourist.
A tourist. Dude, bro, this little COVID disease, bro, has turned this country up on its own ass, bro. And it's a shame that this is where we're at in this country. It's a shame that we are so afraid of a disease that you have a 99% survival rating, and they are upset. They are terrorists.
Okay, yeah, you're a terrorist for actually following, excuse me, y'all. I'm a little tongue twisted. Following the real science. Like COVID, it's not a disease. It is a virus, but it's just like, the flu. YouTube, I'm not giving medical information, just my opinion. Okay? I know plenty of people that have had it. I know people that have died from it. A lot of people die from the flu and tuberculosis. America, I'm just saying, I'm just telling you.
Cancer and AIDS.
And AIDS, okay? I'm just telling the truth, America. I'm just telling the truth. All right, I know. I might get banned for this one.
Bro, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
AIDS has killed a lot of people since the 1970s, right?
Yeah, and so is abortion.
But let me ask you this question, just specifically about AIDS. All right. AIDS has killed a lot of people since the 1970s, right?
Yes.
Has anybody ever said stop fucking? Did they ever put a ban on fucking?
No. That should be a ban on fucking, though.
Have they put condom mandates in there?
There should be condom mandates, people. There should be condom mandates. Okay? What the hell? We can't just keep doing this nasty stuff. There should be condom mandates. You guys suck for not putting out. Hey, CDC, you suck. You should have put out a stop fucking mandate.
All right, let me ask you another question. Okay, because remember back in the early 80s, dude, they said it was a gay disease, right?
Right.
Okay. Where was the ass fucking mandates? I'm being,
Okay, America, y'all have to forgive the bear. He didn't have his porridge this morning. He didn't have his porridge.
I'm being serious though, bro. Where was the stop anal sex mandates? Where was the stop licking vagina mandates? Where was all these mandates? Where was the stay away from rock huts and mandates? Where's all that shit out? People are still fucking through the 80s, the 70s, the 90s. To this day, AIDS still kills motherfuckers, bro. And there is no condom mandates, no stop ass.
I mean, there isn't. I mean, you're right. There is no stop anal. Oh, okay. I need to get okay, America. I'm sorry. I'm digressing. This guy's a fool. Okay, he is funny.
I'm being real though.
But you're right though. I don't have no argument for you.
A lot of truth is said in jest, bro.
It is. But it's real. I have no discrepancy. I'm 100% with you on that. But again, if you go to a park that's taped off because of COVID, you could go to jail and you could end up on a terrorist watch list. Let's get back into this. Again, I stopped. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get into it. What'd you say?
Ass fucking still legal.
It is. And like, it should be illegal. Like, can we stop it? Can we stop?
Our herpes, where's the condom mandates? Bring on the condom mandates.
Condom mandates. Okay, in this country. Damn it. You guys are running around humping like rabbits. And no one cares.
Our cancer. Where's the cigarette mandates?
Oh, it's too much money. It's too much money. Can we do the clip?
Go do the clip. I'm sorry, man.
Okay. I'm just asking. I mean, hey, Real Greg Kelly Show. I'm going to try to continue. Thank you for your patience.
I didn't want to cause any major uproar, but I went to the park with my son Eli, who's 2, and we took down the caution tape and we played. Could not think of a more peaceful way to stand against what I saw as being overreach, and I was given an administrative reprimand for taking down the caution tape at the park.
Emily Rainey followed this up with yet another jarring display of extremism. As a private citizen, not in uniform, consistent with her constitutional rights, and in violation of no policy directive, she led a group of middle-aged American homeowners to a rally in support of election integrity.
Regardless of what you've heard, myself and 100 grandmas did not storm the Capitol. We did not see the inside. We didn't take a tour. It was said that I was the architect of the January 6th insurrection. It was said that I led 100 militia to the Capitol with weapons and military equipment. You know, the insinuations were like using my name in the same sentence as Timothy McVeigh. And then that's when the extremist rhetoric started happening. We started to see all of this stuff coming up about the veterans that were in the crowd.
Individuals who have received military training from the best military in the world, and then they turn around and use these very skills to attack the country.
As a psychological operations officer, we may or may not be interested in influencing an insurrection in other countries. If you were going to do that, hypothetically, you wouldn't do that by telling a group of 1 million people to come to the Capitol, peaceably assemble, and just bring your American flags.
We can't be disrespectful.
So if that was an insurrection, it was the most poorly conducted insurrection ever.
If it wasn't an insurrection, then what was it?
Special operations uses the military deception tactic of a false flag abroad against the enemies of America. A false flag is any time you want to frame another group so that you can then take action against that group. It is my opinion that false flags have happened in this country, one of which may have been January 6th.
And DHS says the coming 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks and religious holidays later this year could be catalysts for violence.
Fear is one of the biggest tactics used in psychological operations. So what we're seeing is fear being used to manipulate the military to see millions of Americans as domestic terrorists and to try to just silence people. There is a fear that if you are a conservative and you're in the military, that you will be singled out, that you will be looked at with suspicion, that your clearance may be in question. I'm driving into work and I'm thinking, oh, I might be arrested at the gate. They're saying that I've committed treason and that I'm a domestic terrorist.
We may be witnessing the dawn of a sustained wave of violent insurgency within our own country.
So just give me a second. I want to address, we're talking about, again, a military veteran, America. We're talking about a freedom lover, put her life on the line for the country. And she was tagged by the federal government. She wasn't bullied on YouTube. She wasn't bullied on Twitter. She wasn't bullied on Facebook. Like a full investigation on who this woman is and what her allegiances are, and branded publicly as a domestic terrorist for loving her country. This could happen to anybody, any one of us, at any time, simply because you believe in freedom.
That's true. And they're going to keep coming for it, bro. They're already saying, dude, that beware of the 2024 election. This could happen again, but it's going to be a bigger insurrection. There's civil wars are going to happen. Bro, how about this? Why don't you give us a clean election? Let the people voice their opinion, count the votes correctly, and then we won't have problems.
I mean, I agree. Like, as Americans, we have a right. And I want to say this to America. We have a right to peacefully protest. We have a right to freely speak our views and opinions. We have a right to let our voices be heard. We have a right to lift our voices to be heard in this country.
We have the right to say, fuck Joe Biden.
We have a right to say that, you guys. We have a right to say it. Like, nobody should be persecuted because of what they say. Nobody should be persecuted for what they say.
I concur.
Okay, so look, let's continue with this clip. I stopped it again.
You're driving around Fort Bragg, you see NRA stickers, come and take it. Scratched out bumper stickers over all of Fort Bragg. You are slowly purging out of the military any dissenting voice that may actually stand in the way of using military improperly in the future. The last 20 years, we have been a country at war. Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan. Now that those wars are winding down, there's this idea that the military needs to find a new mission. Their job is not to root out domestic extremism in the homeland. Be ready for that day when you are given an unlawful order per the Constitution.
I got a whole bunch of guys right there.
Where you take your rank off and you say, no, to hell with that. That's my prayer, is really for my own brothers and sisters in arms. Wake up.
All right, I got a message from
happening.
Ranger J, who said there's no sound. Hey, Ranger J, let me know if you can hear me now, brother.
In the first 20 seconds of that clip, there was no sound.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm
dude,
sorry.
It's already happening, bro. You're already having military service members already taken off their rank. Even now, I think they just let go of 150 Marines out of the Marines because they didn't want to get the vax. Dude, so you're seeing it. You're seeing it right now. We're living in a world right now where the United States military is purging their own people. And here's what's the jacked up thing about it, bro, is that these are the soldiers and the Marines, soldiers and Marines and sailors and airmen who are probably the ones that are willing to go to Iraq, to go to Afghanistan, to go fight against China, to go fight against Russia. You're kicking them out, not the ones that are going to sit there and listen and follow orders and get vaxxed. Dude, the ones that you're kicking out are the good soldiers, the ones that are willing to die for this country. That's who you kicked out. So yeah, this government should be afraid of what's going to happen because all the good soldiers are going to be on our side. Because you name me one woke soldier right now who's willing to die for this country. I'm being real with you, man. They're kicking out the soldiers and sailors, the Marines and the airmen who are willing to do the job. Fuck this jab, bro.
That's what we're here to do right here tonight. War in America Part 2. Real Greg Kelly. The Conservative Bear. Hey, this show that we do, man, this is about sounding the alarm, America. And look, it's soldiers on all sides. It's soldiers in the war field. And just like the government target us, hey, look, there's soldiers in the psychological field. And we just here to put the truth out. Straight up. That's what we're here to do, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. We got a little bit left here. The Real Greg Kelly Show. The Conservative Bear. I like this is real out here. This is not YouTube fame, bro. We out here trying to stand for the American people. For the Constitution. No matter what it costs. We're gonna finish this next segment right here. Again, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Call in to the RGKS hotline. We want to hear from you. I ain't gonna tell you no more. Don't make me mad, y'all.
I think somebody called you and they hung up on you.
Yeah, that'd be you. That was you. Yeah, thanks though. Once again, I done lost track of the clip. I don't have no idea. I need a professional recording crew. I got my brother over here. I need some help. But anyway, listen, let's get into the next segment. Again, we've already seen a family targeted, a DEA agent targeted. We're talking about a decorated psychological warfare weapon specialist being targeted simply because they voted for Donald Trump. RGKS, we're going to go to the next clip. Grab your seatbelts.
Everyone here, all you freedom fighters.
United States is in a state of war. Undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system.
There was an old interview with a Russian KGB defector named
Yuri Alexandrovich Bezmenov.
And he referred to people as useful idiots.
The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defend to.
You could show them the concentration camp, and they still won't believe.
The people in charge, they're literally declaring war on their own population. Here's the former CIA director describing what the enemy looks like.
And this threat from domestic violence extremists is much more challenging, I believe, than it was in terms of going after foreign terrorists.
The helicopters have left Afghanistan, and now they've landed here at home. They've begun to fight a new enemy in a new war on terror. Not, you should understand, a metaphorical war, but an actual war. Soldiers and paramilitary law enforcement, guided by the world's most powerful intelligence agencies, hunting down American citizens, purging them from society, throwing some of them into solitary confinement.
You are in a state of war, and you have precious little time to save yourself.
I do want to say something that Demon put in there. We need more in DC like Lauren Boebert. No, we don't. No, we don't. Her husband's a pedophile. She's known to be drinking with the underage people, dude. No, we don't need more people like Lauren Boebert. We do need more people like MGT. We need more people like I live in Colorado, so I know all about Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, he got the signatures, brother. Now, listen.
We need people like MGT. We need people like Donald Trump. We need people that are willing to stand up and fight for the Constitution, who are not sleeping with pedophiles and who are not giving alcohol to middle schoolers. So, yeah, we don't need that.
That's a fact, man. I mean, that's sick. That's twisted. I mean, it's so inappropriate and unprofessional. And it's sick. Like, come on. Why you giving a minor alcohol? We all know why. We know why. They got dirty thoughts.
But anyway, dude, yeah, that's the thing, bro. And they are the government is using useful idiots, and that's what the Black Lives Matter organization is useful idiots. They are the dumb-headed people that are willing, the crash dummies, the crash test dummies. That's what the Black Lives Matter organization is. And I can say that because 90% of the people that I see that are marching for Black Lives Matter are white people with red hair, pink hair,
some Doc Martin boots.
Yep.
Come on, y'all. Like, we see it. We know who you are.
It's the college idiots that are trying to hook up with the rap stars, trying to show off that they support the Black culture.
Yeah.
Dude, stop being a useful idiot. Actually do some research on what you're doing. Actually go out and show your stuff, dude. Become successful. Why are you gonna go to jail and brick a police officer for a group or an organization that don't give a fuck about you, bro? The BLM organization don't give a fuck about white people. They don't give a fuck about Black people. They only give a fuck about themselves and getting dollar bills, y'all, because they're posted up in $4.3 million mansions while the Black community in Chicago is fighting each other and getting blown up in South Chicago. And not a dime is going to South Chicago.
How dare you say the truth like that?
You know who gives a shit about the Black community? Donald J. Trump. He's the one that gave money to HSBCs.
HBCU.
HBCU, my bad.
He's going to get my channel canceled. He know. But you know what? Hit the damn joint for me.
What?
The damn one. I don't give up.
I don't have
that one. YouTube. Hey, this is supposed to be good for the children. See, I didn't even use the F-bomb. I started to. So listen, that was the last clip. I wish somebody would call and listen, call up. Okay, call us up. Let us know what you think. I'm not gonna be hurt if you don't. I'm lying. My feelings might be hurt. Somebody let me know they give a damn about how I feel. And I'm gonna call. I ain't got nothing to say. But anyway, y'all know what it is. That was the last clip. And again, I wanted to, just give you guys something to think about. Like, this is real tyranny. Like, when you really have to be suggestive about whether or not you put your political views out at your workplace, in the marketplace. Like, the federal government is telling you that it's not safe for you to exercise your First Amendment. This is not
hear you.
The America. You can't hear me?
I think it's because my headphones died or something. Hold on.
I think I can hear me. If your headphones died, I'm going to really be upset. I'm going to really be upset. That can't happen. What's going on? You got battery charged?
Always have a backup pair.
I know you do. I do too. They somewhere around here. Oh, yeah. Here they go right here. See? I got them. The Bose wireless. They're good. They're in the safe.
I got the these are my main set, and then I have this set.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, Demon just made sure I knew that the quality was good. It was the headphones. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Good.
But that's what I'm saying, dude, is people don't want to know the truth. People want here's the problem with the human animal. The human animal wants to feel like what their time is doing is for a good cause. And that's where they're catching a lot of these high school idiots, is because these high school idiots want to be a part of something that would be bigger than themselves. And I get it. But instead of doing research and wanting to actually and caring about the situation, they're making the situation even worse, because who ends up being hated on because of the destruction of their cities because of Black Lives Matter organization, the black culture, the black man, the black woman, who actually have to live in those areas. When you're sitting there bricking the police officers in that area, and you're causing destruction to that area, and you're disbanding the police in that area, defunding the police, what's going to happen to the black culture? They're going to lose. They're going to lose their tax dollars. For the homeowners are going to go down. The businesses are going to move out of that area because there's no police protection, and the only person that's going to be affected is the lower class or middle to lower class black resident that lives in those areas. And you know what's going to happen to these college white kids that leave the area in destruction? They're going to go off and continue to make money and live their little dreams in the areas. That's what's going to happen. So anybody that's listening that goes to college and you're supporting the Black Lives Matter organization, you're doing the wrong thing. If you want to help and you want to help the black individual culture, dude, start a business, hire somebody, give them a job. If you're a bank loaner and they have good credit, don't deny them their credit. That's all you really need to do.
Listen, words of wisdom from the conservative bear, the TCB. I mean, yours truly. And listen, I mean, when you examine what you said, just look at it a little closer. What you said makes no sense for the promotion of BLM, because again, publicly on the social media, side of the house, what you see is black faces. But when you go to the streets and you see these marches and you see these riots, it's not the people that you see on social media.
It's not. You don't see Hawk Newsome out there.
Of course you don't.
You you see the crash dummy college kid out there.
Yep. And that's what I'm speaking on. You don't see people with black faces.
No. Who's getting fucked up by the Proud Boys? Not black people. White people with purple hair are getting fucked up by the Proud Boys.
And it's sad that people don't want to say that. But it's true. We don't do nothing but tell the truth. I mean, you can see it. Go anywhere. I dare anybody to go to a BLM rally where there's actual violence going on and tell me how many black faces you see, in the BLM crowd.
You'll see one, maybe two in the back.
Yeah, I mean,
BLM rallies.
I've seen them. And if you do see a person of color, they preaching to the white kids. That indoctrinative slander. It's slum.
And dude, didn't you know that the founders of Black Lives Matter are there for the money? When have you seen any money trickle in from the Black Lives Matter organization actually go to the black neighborhoods. No, you know where they're going? PACs, political action committees. That's where their money's going. And none of the benefits the actual black culture, the black lives.
I mean, I said I don't even think there's been a book bag rally in the black community funded by BLM.
Bro, I haven't even seen it. You know, at least you could say something about the black drug lords. You know, at least they throw out some turkeys on Thanksgiving. You know, that's one thing you can honestly say, dude. At least, you know, you watch American Gangster, bro. You see the Denzel Washington character throwing out turkeys, which is based on a true story. He used to actually do that. You actually see people like Eminem, these black rappers actually donating glasses to the needy children. You don't see any of that from this organization that is actually about protecting black culture, protecting black lives. No, man, this is all about money. They started this all about getting rich and getting rich off of dead black individuals, whether the black individual died for a good cause or not. They're actually they're getting rich off of dead bodies. Not $1 was given to any of these funerals. They may have given him, I think maybe to Black George Floyd, they might have given some money to his funeral. But most of that was covered by celebrities. I have not seen $1 go into the black community from Black Lives Matter. If somebody does, please send me a link to TCB at tcbshow.net. Send me an email because I would love to see any money that went in from Black Lives Matter into a black community. South Chicago, for instance. 5 Points in Denver. I've never seen $1 go to that.
And you won't. And you won't.
Did you hear my rant?
I did. I can hear everything. That's why I love this guy. Because, I mean, you have to be coming from some source of conviction on the inside to even be a freedom-loving America. I mean, there are values that have established how we live. You know, and, you know, we're one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that's the truth. And no, it's not perfect. But it is what we aspire to be. It's what we dream of being. That's why we got to keep working. That's why we got to keep doing these shows. That's why we got to keep exposing the truth, because that life that we're talking about living with those God-given rights is under heavy attack.
Let me ask you a question, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this show's about J6. Okay. We know Black Lives Matter and Antifa joined the ranks and caused a lot of the destruction, right?
Absolutely.
In the Patriot name.
Yep.
Okay.
False flagging.
When have you seen a Patriot or a protest? Even when you had those thousands of cars in Texas, when have you seen the Patriots ever cause destruction like that? What group is known for causing destruction, destroying neighborhoods, bringing property values down, and causing chaos in the cities? What organization do you know that done that?
Well, BLM did it.
And Antifa did it.
Hey, back back in the ugly days, the Klan did it too.
Yep. And guess what? What political organization were all three of those affiliated with?
I had one more.
Go ahead.
Weather Underground. Remember those guys?
Yep.
And gals?
Yep.
And they were pretty bad.
And what political organization do all those individuals go with?
They're the demos. Democrats. I mean, they've always funded domestic terrorism. I mean, it's true. I mean, I swear to God, like, brother, all the research I've done, these people will fund terrorism. And blame somebody else. They funded terrorism and false flag like no other.
Hold on. Ranger J, I've actually met Lauren Boebert. I spent time with Lauren Boebert. I have looked into her campaign with Lauren Boebert. Like I said, I broke bread with Lauren Boebert. This woman is a fraud, dude. If you've ever spent, I'm sure none of y'all, unless you're from Colorado, have spent time with Lauren Boebert like I have. She's a fraud. And her husband is a pedophile. And I'm sorry. If you sleep with a child, you're not. I don't have no forgiveness for you. I can forgive her drinking with underage people, but if you literally have sex in an alley with a minor,
did she do that?
Her husband did.
I mean, did she do it?
No, but she's still with her husband, and he's part of her campaign. I have nothing to do with Lauren Boebert. I've met the lady. She's a lot of words I will not say in person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of these organizations here in Colorado, conservative as well, want nothing to do with her. That's why Pueblo was actually trying to redistrict themselves so she couldn't run in our district no more.
Now, if you got all that action taking place because you present, things cannot be good for you. I'm just saying. I don't know her at all.
I know her personally. I could say I know her personally. I've eaten at her restaurant, Shooters. I've eaten there.
Well, look,
I was going to help on her campaign until she started lying on Scott Tipton. She lied and said that he was aligning himself with the who's the jihadis people with the squad. He never did. He was actually trying to help farmers in Colorado get water because a lot of them back in the 1940s had to give up their water rights to just survive after the Dust Bowl. That's what Scott Tipton was trying to do. And she lied on him, trying to say he was aligning himself with the squad.
Yeah, and I'm sure that gave her some leverage.
Yeah,
and I appreciate your insight on that. I appreciate you sharing that.
And then what a lot of us conservatives actually had a problem with Lauren Boebert on was not only we thought about in the long run, if she's going to sit there and kill Scott Tipton's campaign like that, and if he won the primary, dude, how was he going to be able to come out of that shadow? She was gonna sit there and destroy the Republican candidate that was the presumed winner, and lied on him and made it so he couldn't even rerun. If he would have got his ass handed to him by the Democrat coming out, because she was already preparing to run against him and was going to start. The reason why she lost, Diane Mitch Bush lost, was because her campaign was geared up to go against Scott Tipton. And they were going to start using the campaign funds to go against him, and said that in the middle of the election, because Lauren Boebert lied her way to the office, dude, it's a mess, dude. Trust me, it's a mess. I know. I was direct. Me and Freeberg, bro. Me and my 13-year-old daughter were directly involved with all that mess here.
So it just sounds like you were ready to be involved, and you discovered some things that were not good.
Yep.
Yeah. So Ranger, listen, I hope you got some in-depth insight about the young lady, well, the old lady or the middle-aged lady. I don't know how old she is, but I know the TCB know who she is. So I hope you got something good from that, Ranger. And listen, everybody that tuned in to the show tonight, thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on Colorado politics on your show.
Brother, you blasted it, okay? It's over with. My political career in Colorado will never start. I don't know anything about it. Hey, but listen, I don't know. It got awful bright in here. My back dropped, somehow died.
It's because of the light.
It was a total disaster. However,
no, it was a great show, man.
I felt like the show was great. And again, everybody that tuned in, I want to thank you personally for stopping by. And if you haven't liked to the TCB show, make sure you subscribe, like the channel, subscribe, go by, show that brother some support, show that brother some love, because all he does is drop bombs. That's all he does. And he looked good doing it. I hate him. And he knows why. We won't get into that. But anyway, again, thank you guys for joining tonight. I'm going to play a little music here. All right. Y'all know how we do around here when it's time to go. We light it up. Woo! Yeah. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. TCB. Thank you for stopping by, brother. Appreciate everything you shared tonight. It's time to make some noise in the house. We going out. I gotta stop this thing though. I gotta say this. America, I love you guys. We love you. Hey, look, if you want to donate to the show, it's Risen Soul King. I ain't even put it up there, but y'all know how to find me. Risen Soul King, $ Cash App. If you want to hit the TCB, I forgot what it is. Tell them, baby. Tell them what it is. I forgot your Cash App. What's your Cash App?
$ TCB show.
$ TCB show. Hey, we don't put pressure on you. If you love us, we'd appreciate your support. And one more time, again, it's something to think about. You know, what's going on in this country. There will be a part 3. I'm going to start that track one more time. All right, just one more.
What? I hope you're able to get Trey, the mother effing NBD.
Gotta have him. Gotta have him. Would love to have you, Trey. Come through, man. Hey, look, we signing off over here. RGKS, TCB, Collabo. America, we love y'all.
Oh, tune in to the TCB show on tomorrow night. The Bears Weekend Review with the real Gregford Kelly.
I'll be there. I hope y'all be there too. All right, we out of here. Nothing but love. See y'all next time, man. Peace. Yeah.
Pull me up.